ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः सुष्ठुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्ददातु। ओम शांति शांति शांति। प्रज्ञां सुप्रदानैः स्थिरचरनिकरव्यापिभिर्व्याप्य लोकान् भुक्त्वा भोगान् सविष्टान् पुनरदिदिषणोद्भासितान् कामजन्यान् पीत्वा सर्वान् विशेषान् स्वपिति मधुरभुङ् मायया भोजयन्नो मायासङ्ख्यं तुरीयं परममृतमजं ब्रह्म यत्तन्नतोऽस्मि। यो विश्वात्मा विदिजविषयान् प्रास्यभोगान् स्तविष्टान् पश्चाश्चान्यान् स्वविति विभवान् ज्योतिषा स्वेन सूक्ष्मान् सर्वानेदान् पुनरभिशनै स्वात्मनि स्थापयित्वा हित्वा सर्वान् विशेषान् विगतगुणगणैः पात्वसौ न तुरीयः। Now to the Upanishad mantras. Om ityetadaksharamidam sarvam tasyopavyakyanam bhutam bhavishyatiti sarvam onkara eva yachanyat trikaladidam tatapya onkara eva sarvam hetad brahma ayamatma brahma soyamatma chatushpat jagaridasthano bahiprajnah saptanga ekona vimshati mukha sthulabhuk vaishwanara pradama padaha स्वप्नस्थानो अंतःप्रज्ञः सप्तांग एकोनविंशति मुखः विविक्तभुक् तैजसो द्वितीयपादः यत्र सुप्तो न कंचन कामं कामयते न कंचन स्वप्नं पश्यति तत् सुषुप्तं सुषुप्तस्थान एकीभूतः प्रज्ञानघन एवमानन्दमयो आनन्दभुक् प्राज्ञस्तृतीयपादः एष सर्वेश्वर सर्वज्ञ एष अंतर्यामी एष योनिः सर्वस्य प्रवाप्ययो हि भूतानां न अंधप्रज्ञं न बहिप्रज्ञं नो वेदप्रज्ञं न प्रज्ञानगणं न प्रज्ञं न आप्रज्ञम् अदृश्यम् अव्यवहार्यम् अग्राह्यम् अलक्षणम् अचिन्त्यम् अव्यपदेश्यम् एकात्मप्रत्ययसारं प्रपञ्चोपशमं शान्तं शिवम् अद्वैतं चतुर्थं मन्यन्ते स आत्मा स विज्ञेयः। सोयमात्मा अध्यक्षर ओंकार अधिमात्रं पादामात्रा मात्राश्च पादा अकार उकार मकार इति जागरितस्थानः वैश्वानर अकारः प्रथमा मात्रा आप्तेरादिमत्वाद्वा आप्नोदिह वै सर्वान् कामान् आदिश्च भवति य एवं वेद। स्वप्नस्थान तैजस उकार द्वितीया मात्रा उत्कर्षाद् उभयत्वाद् वै उत्कर्षदिह वै ज्ञानसन्दतिं समानश्च भवति न अस्य ब्रह्मवित्कुले भवति य एवं वेद। सुषुप्तस्थान प्राज्ञो मकार तृतीया मात्रा मितेरपीतेर्वा मिनोदिह वा इवं सर्वम् अपीतिश्च भवति य एवं वेद। अमात्र चतुष्ट व्यवहार्यः प्रपञ्चोपशमः शिव शान् अद्वैत एवं ओंकारः आत्मैव संविशति आत्मना आत्मानं य एवं वेद। So in the third chapter, as we have been doing in the last few sessions, we are establishing the non-duality. Non-duality in absolute sense. There is no error of judgment or error of even concession as per Gaudavada for any of the duality to exist. So he is bringing two theories of his own, which is not his own. He is using the Upanishad and the pure meaning of the Upanishad to establish these two aspects. One is called Ajativada. Ajatam means non-created. And the second one is what is called the Asparsha Yoga, which which we will be going to the details as and when the relevant Karikas come for our discussions and explanations. So one should understand that what does Gaudapada, how does he establish it? So he started with all these Karikas up to 13. He has done it with the Jiva Srishti and other, how we create our own impressions or our own notions of world based on our own, samskara or our impressions which we have been carrying on. So he is concluding that with the 14th Karika, and from the 15th Karika to the 26th Karika is the real Ajadavada, or the what is being called as non-creation. The theory of non-creation is being taken up between from the 15 to 16. So to conclude his previous topics, he says that Jivatmanaha Prutaktvam Yat Praguchyate Prakirtitam Pragutpatte Prakirtitam Bhavishyat Vrithya Gaunam Tan Mukyam Tvam Hi Na Yujyate. Now what does he say that? Jivatmano Prutaktvam, the separatedness of Jiva and Atma as separate. Jiva is separate and Atma is separate. Yet Pragutpatte Prakirtitam, which is being declared in the scriptures in the initial stages, because all the Vedas and that's followed by the Upasana and followed by the Upanishad. Most of the Upanishad start with different aspects of creation to negate it. So he is saying the Pagupatte Prakirtitam, which is being declared as statements of creation in the beginning of the Upanishad. Bhavishyat Vritya, with regard to the future teaching of the identity of Atma and Jiva, is Gaunam Tan Mukyatvam Nahi Yunjyate. They are all secondary in nature. It is being explained to negate it, because when it is explained, then only our attention will fall on the duality. And when in the duality attention field, it is not to create a reality sensation. It is a created. The explanation is to negate in the concluding aspects of the Upanishad, or where the pure aspect is being declared. Tan mukyatvam hi na yujyate. So it is not at all proper for these Dvaitam, or the duality of Jiva and Atma, or Jiva Jagat and Ishvara, these type of bifurcation of experiences or the existence or creations are not primary importance of the Upanishad. Upanishad is interested in negating it. For negating, it is being used in the beginning, and that should not, by some of the philosophers think that because it is referred in the Upanishad, they take it as real. Gaudapada has no mercy for people who make mistakes. He is like a surgeon. He has no mercy for when operating on a patient. He wants the truth to be, or the wellness of the student, who should be devoid of all miseries and delusions created out of imaginations, all the appearances or mithya. So to do that, he is doing a merciless act of refuting that Dvaidam na vidyate. There is no duality at all. This is how he is vehemently denying the Prutaktum, or the separatedness which is being mentioned. And for example, in the Taittiriya Upanishad, the creation is being mentioned as Yatova imani bhutani jayante eta jatani jivanti. Like that, that from which the imani bhutani, all these created ones, jayante means is being born out of. Now, even anybody who is listening to this part of the Upanishad, they will feel that the creation is really taking place. From Brahma, came the Hiranyagarbha, from Hiranyagarbha came the Akasha, Akashat Vayu, Vayu Agni, Agni Rapaha. Like that, this is stage by stage the creation is being explained. And Yada Agne Shudra Vispulinga is another example which is being quoted in the Brihadaranya Upanishad. Like from the fire, the sparks come out. So naturally it is coming out means it is separated from the main fire. So there is a separate entity called the spark apart from the fire. Tasmat va etasmat atmana akasha sambhuda. So tasmat, from that Hiranyagarbha, etasmat, all this atmanas akasha sambhuda, from the atma the akasha came up. Now this is also in the Taittiriya Ved. Then in the Chandogya Upanishad there is another word, Taidaiksha tat ejo asrajata. Taidaiksha means that it it gave a vision. Aikshada means naturally to see. Here you cannot take it as a meaning as a seeing. So Tadaikshada means it had a vision, tat tejo asrajata, and it became the fire. Because there in this Chandogya Upanishad, the Akasha and Vayu is not being told, it straight away starts from the fire. So these are all the words which are used in the initial stages of the primary attitude to explain that how the creation is being. But in all those things, if the student is very intelligent, he will be able to understand the refutation which takes place toward the end of the Upanishad, where they said, Anyo asau anya aham asmiti na sa veda, which is the Brihadaranya Upanishad says. In this one, there is nothing separate from aham asmiti. In that, I am the one which is the one which in which everything is there. Nasa Veda. So don't create that there is a separation at all, is what Brihadaranya Upanishad said. Ekameva Advitiyam. There is only Ekam, there is only one, and Advitiyam, that is non-dual. It is in the Chandogya Upanishad. Tat Satyam Sa Atma Tattvamasi Shetaketo. Tat Satyam, that is the truth. Which one? From which everything appears to have come, or doesn't use the word appears to have come, because tat asrujataha, tat jayate, all those words which are used are apparently look like reality, the real creation of it. So Atma Tattvamasi Shetaketo, that Atma is where you are that Atma, or you are that Atma in reality when it is being sold. This separation of the creation and you are separate and the Atma from where you came is separate, is being dissolved or negated. So these type of negation can be done only when it is being told in a particular way as the creation coming from which one. Now continuing this explanation in the 15th sloka, Karika, he says that Mrilloha Vispulingado Srishtiya cha Udita Anyatha Upaya sa Avataraya Nasti Veda Katanjana. Now here is where he is starting the refutation. Ajata, he is going to establish there is no creation. Mrilloha Vispulingado. Mrit means mud. Loha means gold and other metals. Vispulinga means spark. Now these are examples are used in the Upanishad to show the non-duality. By saying that a pot is being made out of clay doesn't mean that clay is separate and the pot is separate. There is no way in which you can make out that the pot is born out of clay. When a statement is made, the normal tendency is that mud is the cause and pot is the effect. So there is a cause and effect relationship. Or gold and the ornaments also cause and effect relationship. Fire and the spark. All these places we have to see that is these examples which are being used is Srishtiya cha udita anyata, the creation that has been taught in many ways, like these three examples which have been upaya, method, avataraya for the understanding. Avataraya means is to make one understand that Nasti Veda Kaschana, Katanchana. Absolutely, it is to establish non duality. This duality is being explained. The pot is mud, is the non duality. When it is saying that the pot is created out of mud, it doesn't separate out of from the mud. The waves are never being separated out of the ocean, but the wave appears to be a creation in the ocean, but it has no separation of it. Nasti Veda Katanchana. So this is something which one has to understand that why did Gaudapada has to make this way. So he is using the same pramana or the same authority of the Upanishad, where the beginning they have mentioned the separation or the creation. To deny the creation, the later part of the Upanishad itself is negating that. So this is how one has to understand that this is the methodology which Gaudapada is talking about, is there is no creation. Now he says that it will become clear if the Upanishad studied thoroughly till the end. Only when one who studies the Upanishad, not in bits and pieces by statements he's seeing, hearing. If somebody is listening to Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi alone, he is bound to get confused. He will say that how can the whole Brahma is Aham Brahmasmi? But that Aham Brahmasmi has to be studied in a stage by stage. Why does the statement Aham Brahmasmi come or Tattvamasi come, that you are that? It is not out of the context of statement. But those who are not studying the Upanishad in full, in the complete methodology, if they are just using one statement from here, they are using it out of context and they are bound to get, misled by the statements. So, keeping in this mind, what Gaudapada says is that, the existence which is appearing in the world, there is an existence. The world is existing, but it doesn't belong to the world. Please understand that. The existence of the pot is not in the pot. The existence of the pot is in the existence of the mud. Existence of ornaments are not its own existence. It is the existence of the gold which is lending its existence to the ornaments. Existence of the fire in a spark is not the existence of the spark as a fire, but from the fire, the existence is borrowed by the spark for its own existence. So, the existence of the world which we are experiencing, the moon is existing, the planets are existing, the world is existing, animals are existing, the multitude of the world is existing, is the feeling which we are having. But we do not know where the existence is borrowed for all of them. This doesn't belong to the world, is what Gaudapada is very categorically believing. This existence is coming from that with which you also exist. Our own existence is to be, if one can understand from where do we get our existence, or when I say I am, that amness or my isness or my existence, how did I, or what is it that based upon, or what is the dependency on that isness? If that is understood, I can know that everything in the world is also depend upon that same, is because I am also part of the world. So if the moon is created, I am also created, the moon is also created. The existence of the moon and the existence of mine has to be it has to have the same source, because existence per se cannot be separate, because the appearances are separate. The moon can appear separate, the planet Jupiter can appear separate, the sun can appear separate, earth can appear separate, animals, human beings, plants, rocks, everything can appear separate by separate. But the separated is an appearance borrowed with an existence from something else, because appearance doesn't have an existence, because appearance goes. What is appearing as a animal, we see that it is becoming non-appearing after a period of time. So the appearance of the animal, the pot or the gold, none of them have permanent appearance. But existence is not like that. Existence is something which cannot be destroyed. It is there. The name and the form is which is getting destroyed. It becomes something else. The existence is transferred into some other appearance or some other object or some other way in which it is becoming later after the appearance, name and form is going. So Gaudapada want to very clearly say that this is aspect of the transfer of existence from the appearances of names and forms is having a dependency for the existence on something else other than that. This is the reason why he is wanting to refute there is no creation in reality. So, as a preamble to that, he is taking one basic necessity for understanding that, which is explained in the 16th verse. What does it say? The 16th verse says, Ashramas Trivida Heenam Madhyama Utkrishta Drishtaya Upasana Upadi Steyam Tadartam Anukambaya. Ashramadis Trivida. Like the ashramas, Varnashrama Dharmas, Varna and Ashrama, like the Brahmachari, Grihastha, Sannyasi, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Ashrama, or Brahmana, Kshatriya, Shudra, Vaishya, Varna, Bahya. All those things are all is for the purpose of the type of understanding based on the individual. It is not that the Varna and Ashrama is the quality based on which these studies can be done. He is refuting it here. He is saying that it is the potency or the capability of the student or those seeker. Ashramas, this means seeker, one who seeks about it, is based on which we can categorize the people into three categories. One is called Hina. Hina means basically inferior, or we can say the dull-witted people who cannot understand the simple statements or the implied meaning in a statement. Madhyama are the people who you will find that they are the people who understand it, but they confused to such an extent that they go in the wrong direction. And Uttama, Utkrishta, Drishtaya are the people who are potentially high intelligence, who can make further their own analysis and improve upon what they have heard, because any word and the teaching has a limitation. That limitation is overcome by those who have got intelligence to further make it more assimilative to their own intellect, and they are able to even remove the potencies of misunderstanding or the other type of errors which can happen in it. Now, upasana upateshtiyam tadartam anukambaya. If these upasanas, etc., are in the Vedas are being explained because of the compassionate attitude the Upanishad is taking, or the Veda is taking, I would say, rather than the Upanishad. Now, I need to get a bit into here, being sorry if I am hurting some feelings and etc. But it is not my intention. I want to drive into the point that what Gaudapada really mean by this. Then only you will be able to really appreciate why the Ajata is important. But Ajata is important for people who can understand it intellectually. Those who are in the Hina and Madhyama people are the people who run away after what they think as real. For example, Tantra, Yoga, and all these, inferior type of rituals where blood is being given, alcohol is being given, or some sort of dancing and things like that. They think by doing that they are able to, make the creator happy, the present. And even people who are looking at at the madhyama type of people are the people who are not to that downgraded level of who in going to blood sacrifice or alcohol sacrifice or any other type of sacrifice and then consume. These things are all by developed by to those who are in control of the weak-minded people. The Hina mind means the dull-witted people. They do not know what they are doing is right. So there are people who are, fooling them and benefiting out of their foolishness. And they tell to do this, and these dull-witted people think that, by doing that, they are doing the right thing. But they don't think for themselves because they don't have the capacity to do that. So if somebody is being told that you do this, you have to spend so much of money and do some sort of a puja or some sort of a yaga, people fall for it because they don't think about it, they don't analyze the reality behind it. But the beneficiary is neither the god nor anybody else. It is the one who does the puja as a priest. He is the one who gets benefited. He gets the dashina. He gets to eat all the offerings along with the what is being offered. So they are not. These are the type of people who are not trying to find out why these things are being happened. And then the middle level people are the people who create imaginary worshipping idols, which are superimposed qualities on like 4 hands, 4 heads or 10 heads or multiple heads and all sorts of arms and armaments carrying with them. There is no logic why that such forms are being created for the thing. Some people worship on the pig form, some people worship the monkey form, some people worship the elephant form, some worship the rat form, some worship the snake form. Different forms are being worshipped by people, not knowing what they are exactly doing about, why they are doing it. They don't even analyze or even ask the simple questions. How can be a nirguna, nirakara? Nirguna means without any gunas, nirakara means without any form, can take the form of all those things. Now some people say that symbolically they are representing it. Now these people who are saying that they are being even used for symbolic purpose have a vested interest to tie these people to such forms and then bring them into rituals where they are getting benefited out of it. If anybody is really looking into these aspects, they should ask the questions. What is the reality? Unless you know the reality, you are bound to be fooled by who knows that you are a fool. This is why Gaudapada says that there are these categories of people. Out of that, the Vedic Upasana, which is being mentioned, not the Puranic or the ritualistic Upasanas. The earlier part, he has categorically said that it is not what is as per the Vedas. I mean, as per the Upanishad principle, it is for refuting. So, if somebody says Swarga Kamo Yajeda, for Swarga you should do a yajna, for a child you should do yajna, for wealth you should do yajna. These are all people who think that the wealth, the Swarga, and all those things are realities, and they can, by doing yajna, you can get it. Are people being fooled by the ignorance of their own ignorance? This is why the Upanishad themselves have graduated from the Karma Kanda to Upasana Kanda, where there is no need of any such of offerings. It is more of a mananam, or internal inquiry into the words developed by the Upanishad or the Vedas, where the Dahara Vidya is there, Panchagni Vidya is there. These are different type of Bhuma Vidya, etc. There are many Vidyas. 32 Vidyas are being told in the major 10 Upanishads. So the 32 Upasanas which are being mentioned are meant for people who are the middling type of people, who are not getting fooled by the rituals, but at the same time they have a desire to achieve higher goals. But the Utkrishta Drishtya, the one who with a superior vision, are the people who graduate beyond the Upanishad by taking the ultimate statements of the Upanishad, where the non-duality and ajadi, non-creation and nirguna definitions are being mentioned. They assimilate that, then they do Shravana Manana Nididhyasana to transcend beyond that. So Gaudapada is very clear that I am not addressing to the people in the middle and the lower category of people at all. They can do whatever they want. I have no whatever quarrel with them, because they will not understand the ultimate Upanishad and the Upanishadic words which are highly intellectual in nature. So those who are into all those stuff of anything depending upon the body dependency and doing with the body as a transactional relativity or reality, are people who have not understood the reality, because the body itself is a part of the world which has borrowed its existence from something else, like any other thing in the world. So there are statements in the Upanishad which Atma va are drashtavya, ya Atma upahadapatma. These are all, ya Atma va are drashtavya is the word from Brihadaranya Upanishad, where Yajnavalkya is telling Maitreyi, his wife, that you should see the Atma as Srotavya, Mandavya, Nididhyasitavya. Shravana Manana Nididhyasana is being told. And in another one where Indra and Virochana is being told by Prajapati saying, Ya Atma Avahadapatma. This Atma, what I am referring to, is Avahadapatma, is untainted by anything. No Papa has touched it. It is beyond Punya and Papa. So, Atma Deva Upasita. This is the type of Atma which you should be doing the Upasana on, not in the form of other thing which is being mentioned earlier. Yes. Yan manasana manude yenahur mano matam tadeva brahmatvam viddi nedam vizam upasate. This is the Upanishad, the Kena Upanishad, which we have studied it. Yet manasana manute, that which cannot be comprehended by the mind. Yenahur manomatam, that entity with which the mind borrows its existence. Tadeva Brahma, and Tvam, you are that Brahma, because you are thinking you are the mind, and you are thinking that because I am the mind, and the mind, and the day is not the mind, and the mind means Antakarana here. So Antakarana Shruti is based upon thinking that I am the individual self. Tadeva Brahmatvam Vidhi, you should know that not the mana which is it, Yenahur Manomatam, for which the mind is depending upon its own existence, or the mind getting its power to operate. That is the Brahma. And Tvam Vidhi, you should know that as yours. Nedam ididam upasate, not what you do the upasana using the mind as anything outside the world of this thing. Tad Tvamasi, you are that such. That truth with which your mind is depending upon, your mind's existence is depending upon, your mind's power of operation is depending upon. That is what is you. Tad Tvamasi. Atme Vedam Sarvam. This Atma is everything. Idam Sarvam. What is appearing as everything. Idam Sarvam means there is neither you nor everything outside. Everything is in that Atma only. This is the way in which Gaudapada is very clearly saying that this is how the Utkrishta mind, the thing, superior people will do their analysis and study. Now, what he says is that how the dualists are confused. Swaswaddhanta vyavastasu dvaitino nisthita dhradam parasparam virudhyante taihir ayam na virudhyate. The dualists, those who believe in Shaiva, Vaishnava, Christ or Allah or whatever may be the name, they are all dualists. They are separate, their God is separate. So they are all coming under the one category of dualist. Swaswaddhyanteshu vyavastita dvaina na nischita. These dualists are firmly established in their own conclusions. They think that what they have been told by their priests or their masters or their preachers or their prophets or whatever may be the word we want to use it, that is final and it should not be anything. And they go out of the way to even annihilate one another, because both of them are in dualist, but one dualist will be annihilating another. Whether the Shia and the Sunni is fighting, or the Protestant and the Catholics are fighting, the Shaivites and the Vaishnavites are fighting, it's all because they have pet ideas created by their prophets or the preachers or the priests, and they think that that is right, and they all, even though they are dualist, they fight among this. Parasparam virudhyante, they contradict also in another. What one says is contradicted by the other, and the ideation of what is the reality is different from one another. Ayam na virudhyante. For us, this teaching of the ultimate Upanishad, what is there in this, Ekatma pratyasaram prapanjovachamam shantam shivam advaitam sa atma sa vitneyaha. That teaching is not in conflict with any of them, because we don't even this teaching is not even entering into dispute with those people. Let them fight and eliminate themselves. We have nothing to do with them, because they are not looking for reality. They are only trying to protect and uphold their pet ideas and their beliefs. Therefore, those people have no clash. They clash between each other. We have no clash with them. The 17th Karika says, Advaitam paramartho hi dvaitam tadveda uchyate. Tesham upabhayata dvaitam tenayam na virudhyate. Advaitam paramartho hi. The non-duality is indeed the absolute reality. Dvaidam tadveda uchyate. The duality is only a appearance which has been referred in the non-duality for the purpose of refutation. The duality is not a reality. To refute that, the duality is referred. Therefore, Dvaidam tad veda uchyate. It is being referred as appearing to be differing from the reality, the Advaitam. But Tesham Ubhayata Dvaitam. These for the duality of those things, both either empirically or absolutely, for those who believe in the Dvaitam or the duality, Tena ayam na virudhyate. Again, here also, if for them also, they took these aspects of the Upanishad, like Akashat Vayu Sampada, Tasmad Atmana Akasha Sambhuda, or Itova Imani Bhutani Jayante. All these Upanishad words where the duality was initially being explained, even though there was a beginning statement like that, Sa Ekaha, Sa Ekam Vit. So that was one and the thing. And from there, that Akasha Sambhuda, Atmana Sambhuda, Akasha Atmana Sambhuda, when it is saying that Ekameva Advityam, Soyam Atma, all those Atma has been referred as one only. But from that Atma, Akasha Sambhuda, when it is being said that one, how can it become many, is being refuted in the subsequent Karikas. But that one should understand that why we have no conflict with them is that because they take only that aspect of the creation as reality. For them, the prana is real, the atma, akasha is real, the vayu is real, the agni is real, and all of them are real, and they think that these all the reality really has taken shape. But they don't know the reality of them has no reality, because nama rupa, they are mere name and forms. The reality of the name and form is like the reality for a pot has a dependency on the mud, or the waves have dependency on the water. Same is the case for the akasha. I mean, up to all the creation has dependency on the atma, which has nitya, shuddha, buddha, mukta, swabhava, atma. So that is forgotten, and then they think that these are all created. What is created has a death or a destruction. So Shadvida Vikaram, all that six type of changes take place them from the birth, growth, decay, and disease and death, and etc. etc. So we have no conflict with them because they don't see what we are seeing. We are saying that in the beginning also, now and later also, there is only one Satyam. Tat Satyam. Tat Satyam Abhavat. Et Tat Satyamadi Devaketo Tattvamasi. What does it say that? The rope was always a rope. Before, when you saw a snake and when you know it was not a snake, all the three times the reality was only snake, only the rope. The appearance of the snake doesn't mean the snake was born out of the rope. Please understand that way is what Gaudapada want to tell that. And how does it happen? Mayaya vidyade hetat. Mayaya vidyade hi etat na anyada ajam katanjana. Tattvada vidyamano hi martyadam amrutam vrajet. Mayaya vidyade hi etat. Anyada ajam katanjana. Ajam, this unborn. Which is unborn? Atma. Vidyate Mayaya. Because of Maya or the delusion or the appearance, difference it is created. Not in any other manner. It is not anyata etat. In none other way it is becoming separate. Why? Tattvada vidyamanehi martyadam amrutam vrajet. If it is really become something, the ajam, the unborn, or the atma which cannot be born, the nitya shuddha buddha mukta swabhava atma, if it has really become the individual mritya or the martya as a human being or any created form, vidyamanehi, then what happens is that martyadam amrutam vrajet, then it cannot have the immortality. The moment it is created means yat jayate tat mriyate. What is being created will be destroyed. Therefore, this ajam atma, the one which cannot be born, ajo nitya shashvatoyam puranaha na hanyate hanyamane sharire, is what Gita said that. So this ajam, ajadivada, this ajam atma, turiya, brahma, whatever word we want to use it, that has never become anything other than that. na kadanchana, na anyada kadanchana. It has never become something separate from it. If it was, it is there, it is due to Maya. Now, how does that thing, how does the Maya is being explained by Gaudapada? We will see it. In the next Karika, what he says is, Ajadasya eva bhavasya jadim ichchandi vadinaha ajadahi amrita bhava martyadam katam ishyate. Ajadasya eva bhavasya jatim ichchandi vadinaha. Some of the Vadis or some of those proponents of the Vedas who are all who claim themselves to be the Vedantins, not Advaitins, Vedantins. Therefore, Vadinaha, the birth of the unborn is a reality itself. They consider that unborn, the Ajam, that is the Atma, is having a real birth or a real creation which is being done. So Gaudapada is asking, Ajadahi Amritam Bhava Martyadam Kadam Ishyate. How can the unborn immortal reality indeed go through mortality of creation and destruction? The water has no tendency to be born as a wave. There is no intention to be born as wave. There was never a real birth of a wave. What is appearing as a wave has a dependency on the ocean from where it is coming. Even when it was a wave, the wave was nothing but ocean only. So the reality of the wave was borrowed of the wave of the reality of the ocean with which the wave is appearing as a wave. Same way, the world, the Jiva, the Jagat and the Ishvara, which is being referred in earlier parts of the Upanishads and the Vedas, are non-separate. There is non-separatedness, advidiyatvam. There is no ananyatvam. There is no separatedness from that oneness which has no tendency to become born. To become born means to become limited. What is born is as a destruction. So neither there is a birth nor there is destruction. It is all appearances. Therefore, it is Maya. Therefore, we should understand the Maya is the reason why, because Maya is the ignorance, is the non-understanding of the reality for them. So that here is what Gaudapada is very categorically bringing in one aspect of it. There is nothing two, there is only one. And if it is appearing as two, it is due to Maya. And Maya is an appearance. Appearances can give rise to experiences. The experiences have dependency on the reality for which the appearance is also depending upon. The reality of the experience is the experience of the appearance. The appearance, when it is considered to be real, then you are an ignorant person or you are under the clutches of Maya. So this is very categorically and clearly mentioned in the Ajadivada by the Gaudapada. So we should know that there is only Advitiyam, Ananya, Brahma, Turiya, Atma, or whatever term is comfortable to your understanding, please use that. Everything indicates to the same thing. That has never become two. It has never been born out of that or never has become two. Therefore, just as the rope has not become a snake, in that if there is an appearance, that appearance is due to Maya. But the appearance, if is giving an experience of the experience of reality, there is a reality in the appearance, not as appearance, but as the substratum of the reality. It is the experience of the snake due to the shape of the rope. The shape is a reality of the rope which gave rise to the experience of the snake, not because of the snake was born out of the rope. So the appearance of the snake, borrowing the shape of the rope similar to the snake, having given rise to the experience, cannot be transferred that the snake was real. The snake is an appearance. Same way, The world of multiplicity which we are experiencing is giving experience. The water, for example, is being understood as water only. The reality is only water. Whether it is cloud, snow, river, stream, drinking water, shit water, whatever may be form it is there, the reality of that those existences are on the pure, on the water as a substratum. Because the experiences are there, for like a snow has an experience, the cloud is an experience, and the water of the river is an experience, the drinking water is an experience, doesn't take away the reality of them, because their reality is depending upon the reality of the water which is with which everything else is made. The snow, the cloud is also water, the snow is also water, the river is also water, the drinking water is also water. So what is the reality of these individual appearances is the reality of the water, not the snow is real, the cloud is real, the river is real, or the drinking water is real. They borrow the reality from the reality which is water as the substratum. This is the way one we should understand that, and then from from the 22nd Karika onwards, we will discuss in the Friday class, which we will be coming to. I'll stop here, and then 21st onwards, 21st to 26 is Ajadivada. So we will take this 6 and explain it in detail in the Friday thing. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Dhanyavada. Thank you.